Hey everyone, I want to take a couple minutes to talk about the crazy rumors floating around that Floyd Mayweather is going to fight in the UFC. Oh boy, where do we begin? Well, let me start off by saying I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's likely. But I think if the UFC brass and Dana White realize that they can generate revenue off of a fight, they're probably going to make the fight. Look at CM Punk. I mean, he gets to fight in the UFC, right? I don't think the odds that it happens are good. But I think it's going to boil down to whether Floyd wants to come in and put a loss on his record somewhere. I know, granted, it wouldn't be in boxing, but it's a loss nonetheless, right? And you know how proud he is of that 15-0 record that he's got. I just don't get, where is all the interest in this fight coming from? I mean, we've already seen this play out in reverse, right? You took a young MMA fighter in his prime in Conor McGregor and moved him into boxing and made him fight maybe the best ever, but he was retired and old, right? And no one was really getting held up when that happened. It's not like all these boxers were clamoring to fight Floyd. But the opposite way, like if Floyd were to come down being an old, retired ex-champion and fight an MMA fighter in his prime, I mean, obviously that sounds ludicrous off the bat, right? But you're also holding up guys like Tony Ferguson and Khabib who have earned the right to fight Conor and figure out who the best is. Like, you're holding those two up, and 155 is a talent-stacked division, and there's so many questions that need to be answered there. So first off, it's not fair to those guys. I don't think that's going to matter. Like, if Floyd wants to fight, I think he's going to fight. I don't think it's going to matter what Tony Ferguson and Khabib say. All right, so that being said, let's talk about what would happen if Floyd were to fight in the UFC. First off, I don't like Floyd Mayweather's chances against a low-level UFC fighter if you gave him the next 3 to 5 years to prepare. He's old. He is also, think about this, Floyd's hardwired for boxing. Like, his mind is hardwired for that. He's been learning it probably, when did he start learning it? 5, 10? I don't know. Point is, he's probably been boxing for more than half of his life. Like, everything that he knows is boxing. Like, he doesn't know how to kick people or how to throw elbows or how to get people in the clinch or dig for underhooks or get a takedown. None of that. He's never practiced that. He's the best at boxing because that's all he's focused on. So the idea that you can throw a 40-year-old boxer into the octagon against an elite fighter, love him or hate him, Conor McGregor is elite. I mean, he is so good. To throw Floyd in against a guy like that who's a brown belt in jiu-jitsu is, I don't get, why do we want to see that? Why do you want to see that instead of Conor versus Tony or Conor versus Khabib? Like, where is the interest coming from? We've already seen this play out. Like I said, the opposite way. And how many boxers can you think of that have had success transitioning to MMA, like massive success? The most, off the top of my head, I can think of one fighter, and it's Holly Holm. And even then, she had 10 kickboxing matches, I think 9 or 10, something like that. Regardless, she had experience dealing with the range that's introduced to you when you start throwing kicks into the game, right? Like, she had experience dealing with that before transitioning to MMA. She's more well-rounded. And Floyd isn't going to have any of that. Maybe if he was, like, in his 20s or something and you gave him a few years, and because I think about it like this. I think about it like learning a new language, right? Like, when you already know English and that's all you can speak, it's really hard to transition and learn any other language, basically, because all you know is English. It's what you do every day. You talk in it. That's how Floyd is with boxing. Whereas if he was younger and his mind hadn't been groomed and molded repeatedly for that specific sport, he might be able to absorb some of the information a little better. And your body's younger, you know what I mean? You got a little bit more going for you as far as you're probably more gifted physically at that age and stuff. But the idea that he can come in and learn how to take someone down, defend a single leg, defend a double leg. I mean, what's he going to do? Is he going to know to dig for underhooks when he gets on the fence? Is he going to know what to do when he gets taken down? Like, can he work off of his back? Does he even know what a guard is? Does he know the difference between guard and half guard? I don't think so. And I think he could probably learn a little bit, but never enough to be competent at the UFC level. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking crazy for thinking all this. If I am, let me know. But I really don't think so. I'm rooting for this fight not to happen. And that being said, it probably will. Just because I said that.